Well, it's official. Samsung misses me. It's been 4 years since I've used a Samsung Galaxy Note device, and then it's been 1 year since I've switched over and have been using Pixel devices, and they really want me back, so they sent me a review unit of the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra to see what I think of it. Now, I originally stopped using the Note devices because Samsung phones just keep getting so big, and I wanted a more compact phone with more features, but it seems like nobody's doing that. So the Fold was kind of the option to go to. Here I'm using the Google Pixel Fold, and I really like how the screen is a little smaller. I like how I can anytime open it up and have this much bigger display to use, but I am missing a few things. I'm missing having an S Pen. My battery life isn't great. About 8 o'clock at night, it's down to 10%. I need to plug it into a charger. I've had a couple issues where I'm trying to use a wireless mic now, and when I plug it in, sometimes this phone isn't recognizing it. I think there's a little problem with my port here. And then there's been some other little issues, like when I went to take a picture the other day, I took the picture and I walked away, and then it took it like 3 seconds later. So it totally missed what I was trying to take a picture of. So that just happens over time, but maybe it's time to try something new. So today we're gonna go ahead and unbox and get the Galaxy S24 Ultra set up so that I can use it as my main device. I'm gonna use it for a week or a few months and see what that experience is like, see if all these new AI features are worth it to have the upgrade to this device, and see if I like having the normal form factor, not a Fold device, or if Fold is still the way to go. So let's get started. Now here, this is the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but you also have the S24 Plus if you don't want the S Pen and the biggest screen, or you have the regular S24, which is a much smaller screen. So at the top of the phone, you do have this little box. So here inside this little box, we do have a USB-C power cord. So we're gonna use that to charge it as well as do smart switch. Here you have a quick start guide. And then here we have our SIM ejector tool that we will need. So that's all that's in the top part of the box. Then here we have the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Looks pretty great. I don't know exactly what color this is. And then there we have the rest of the box. So they've definitely slimmed down how this feels. Some of the phones were getting so big, but they've made pretty much all the bezels very, very small. One unique thing is now the phone is flat. For years, Samsung was doing a curved display. That made it a little bit harder to use in cases if you're using the gestures on the side, and they've really made it pretty compact. They also moved the S Pen over here to the left side, so I think that changed on the last device, which it could be on the right side, but I guess they're giving lefties the hand up on this one. So there we have that. We have the SIM card tray at the bottom. There we have the USB-C on the bottom as well. The left side of the phone, we have nothing. On the right side here, we have the power button and the volume button way up there. That's opposite from how Pixel does it. So that's gonna be a little bit getting used to for a minute. Here at the top of the phone, we just have some microphones. And then here on the back, we have a ton of different cameras. There's a 200 megapixel camera on here, a bunch of other cameras, lights, and so on. So first, let's go ahead and take my SIM card out of my old phone and put it into the S24 Ultra. So here we're going to remove the SIM card from our old phone. Now the SIM card is what has your phone number, the ability to text and call on your phone. It doesn't have any data on it. So now we're going to remove the SIM card tray from the S24 Ultra. It came with the SIM card, but I'm going to take it out and put in my SIM card so it has my phone number on it. Then we're going to place it back in and power on the device and go through the setup process. Now I usually do this first just because right now no one can text me on this phone. Any new text will come through on the new phone so that I have all of my text history on this one device. Let's power it on. Now here on my Pixel Fold, I do have a D-brand case that's pretty big. The phone itself is pretty small, but there you can see we're about as wide as the Pixel Fold there. And then for the height, we have a much taller phone. So it'll take me a little bit to get used to that, but I am happy they've made this seem a little bit slimmer all the way around. So we're gonna get started. Here we're going to agree to all the terms and conditions. And now it's telling us we can easily set up everything from our old phone. So here we're gonna choose another Android phone, and there on my Pixel Fold, it's already saying, hey, you're gonna transfer over here. Let's go ahead and tap setup. And now it's gonna go through the setup to do that. Now we need to scan the QR code. I'm gonna put in my PIN to verify it's me. Now it's going to pull over my Google account and have me sign into those. Now I'm going to set up Google Assistant. I'm going to use voice match so it knows who I am. And here I'm going to agree to use Google Assistant without unlocking the phone. Now we're going to sign into our Samsung account. If you don't have one, you can actually sign in with your Google account. Here we're going to agree to some terms. Here it's asking for two-factor authentication. So let's see. If I didn't get verification code, I can say use a number, and then we can verify. All right, so it sent it right to this. That was cool. Didn't have to go find another device. Now, a big thing about the S24 devices is the AI, or advanced intelligence. Get most out of your phone with these powerful features. So with the phone app, we can get real-time translation during voice calls. With the Samsung keyboard, we can change the tone of your writing, get spelling and grammar suggestions, and translate messages in select chat and text messages apps. So here we have the interpreter, which gives you live translations of spoken conversations available as voice or text output. Then we have Unleash Productivity with Samsung Internet. We can get simple summaries of web pages, text, along with full translations. And then here we can create epic pic images. So in the photo editor, we can reimagine images by moving, removing, or resizing the people and objects in them, then generating new backgrounds to fill in any missing pieces. So you can now do a lot of stuff you used to have to do in Photoshop. You can do it right here on the phone. So we're going to be testing all of that out. And here it says the first time you use AI in an app or service that requires data collection to provide results, we'll let you know before your data is collected and processed. So that's good. They're going to let me know before it may send that information somewhere else. So here we have the customized service, and then we have smart suggestions. Let's go ahead and keep those on. Here we can choose what mode we want our phone in, and I like the dark mode. So we're going to choose dark, and we are all set up. All right, so now we are in the phone. We can use it. So right now it's kind of downloading some updated apps. You can see those apps there. So I really like how they simplified getting through the setup, but it looks like it didn't transfer my stuff. All right, so in the settings under accounts and backup, here we have the transfer data for device setup. So we're going to choose that. Here it is now downloading a smart switch. Interesting, it's no longer pre-installed. And there it automatically opens smart switch. We're going to tap continue. So here you need to agree to all these permissions so it can access info from your old phone. Here we're going to receive the data. Here it says we need to charge our phone. We're going to choose an Android, and we're going to use the cable. So just plug it into both phones. And here on the Pixel Fold, we need to download Smart Switch. And here we need to agree to all the terms to transfer over the data. And here we need to turn on data usage, allow file management, allow from this source. Okay, so now it's going to go through and find all of the information on the previous phone. Now, another great thing about the new Galaxy S24 series is they now support 7 years of OS upgrades. So you could have this phone for 7 years and you know that all the apps and everything that's going to come out in the next 7 years will continually be supported. Previously, it's been like maybe 3 or 4 years. Your phone will no longer get the newest updates, so certain apps won't work anymore. But with the new S24 series, so S24, S24 Plus, S24 Ultra, you're going to get those 7 years of updates, which is pretty crazy. So having a phone for 7 years is kind of amazing. So if you are able to do that, protect the phone, keep it clean, keep it nice, without any damages, it will last that long, which is great. And this definitely has enough power in it to be able to make it last that long, so your phone is still running smoothly later. Throughout that time, you may need to do a few factory resets and different things like that, but it's just great that they are now offering those 7 years of updates. After a few minutes, it's now found everything on the old phone, and now we have the options to transfer. So here I could transfer everything, which is 160 gigabytes, or I could go through and choose just accounts, calls, contacts, and messages, or I can choose custom. So I believe this is going to be everything but pictures, but I'm going to do custom to make sure I get everything I want. So now it gives me the option to choose what I want. So here at first we can choose select all. So I want calls and contacts. I actually don't want contacts. I already have them backed up, so I don't need to back up contacts. Then here we have messages, and you can go through and you could say just like the last 30 days. I like to have all of my messages backed up. Then here you can choose apps. Here we can choose a wearable. So we're using a Galaxy Watch previously, so it's transferring that. Settings here, images. I'm not going to transfer any images. I back up everything to Google Photos and Dropbox. So I already have everything backed up. I don't need another duplicate of that device over here. And I'm also going to turn off videos, 113 gigabytes saved. Then let's go ahead and do the music and recordings and other documents. So here under apps, we can also see apps that we have downloaded. If there's some that I'm no longer using and I don't want to have transfer over, I could do that, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and be good with that. And now we're going to hit transfer. And here it's saying a lot of messages could take a while and slow down your phone, but I want that. So we're going to go ahead and tap transfer. And then here it's saying backup your messages app data. So in these apps, you would want to go and do a backup, and then you'll need to restore it on the phone. So here it shows WeChat and WhatsApp. I'll show you WhatsApp in just a bit. And now it's going to go through and do the transfer. And so here it's going to show us the progress and show us what is currently being transferred. You can select this to keep the screen on so you don't have to keep tapping it to wake it up or unlock it, just so you can see, but that is going to take more battery life. So we're just going to keep that off until this is done. It has now finished transferring everything that it can, and it's organizing everything, putting it in the right place, as well as downloading all the apps. It just transfers your app list, and then it needs to re-download all those. So here we can now disconnect the cable. Here you can see I went from like 21% down to 10% because it was charging this phone over here, which went up to 24%. So now we're going to go to the home screen, and we can now begin using our phone. And here under the notifications, it's saying the transfer is complete. So if we tap on there, it's going to show you all that was transferred. So it moved 40 gig of information. It looks like a lot of apps, and everything is now complete. Now we just need to go through and sign into our apps. Now, one thing about the new Galaxy 24 devices is they work with MagSafe. So MagSafe is Apple's way of charging devices where it magnetizes to the back here. So let's go ahead and try out an accessory. Now I'm not going to quite attach this. This is called Snap. It allows you to have a phone grip. It's super thin. It's a kickstand, MagSafe in all phones, magnetic, and wireless charging through it. So that's kind of cool. You pull out this back and then it sticks to this. Now is why this is important to know is with the S24 Ultra and the S Pen, if you use a magnetic accessory on the back of the phone, the S Pen will not work properly. So let's see if we can see what that does. So here, this side is magnetic. So if I place this on there, that is where the MagSafe connector is. So you'll see cases with a little circle on it. So that means magnetic devices are going to connect right to there, or a magnetic charger, or that's where the charger is right there. So if I move it up here, I guess it's kind of magnetic all over. There might be a specific spot for that, but let's go ahead and try this. We're going to stick that on the back. And then if we go into our phone, oh, that's on the wrong side. And so here I'm going to hold down, double tap, pulls open a note. All right, it's going to help us do all kinds of stuff. Now I can draw. So as I'm drawing straight lines, you can see that the lines are kind of warped. So let's remove that and draw lines. And the lines are not warped anymore. Now let's try it the way it's going to be attached. There you can see the lines are kind of wonky. So that is something that you need to be aware of. So if I mounted this to the back of my phone, these lines would show up, or when I'm trying to write, you know, if I'm writing, it's like, why does that look funny? That's not how I wrote it. But up here, it doesn't affect it. So it's only going to affect right here. So at this point, I would not use one of the accessories that has some sort of magnet in it. So that might be something you need to test, put on the case, see if the S Pen has a problem. If it does, you would need to find a different case. And for me, it would have been cool to try this. I might try it on top of a case, see if that makes any difference. Now, Thinborne did send over this case for me to try. Now, in their packaging, it also comes with 2 glass screen protectors. Now that it's a flat display, that should be pretty easy to get installed, but I really like how thin this case is because the phone is a bit bigger. I want something that's protective, but also keeps it really thin. So this does have that MagSafe circle right there. So if you have a MagSafe charger, it's going to easily magnetize to that. But let's see if everything still works fine with a case that has that installed. So here we're going to put it in. I like how it keeps the phone nice and slim. But now we're just going to pull out the S Pen, and it's going to go to our off-screen memo. And as we write, there you can see there's no adjustment in the lines that I'm writing. So it's not going to be a problem if you have a case that has MagSafe. But if you place it on the MagSafe charger and you're trying to use your S Pen, that's where it's going to be problems. So here, this has a little magnet in it. So if we put it on the back, there you can see it kind of lines up right there. That's where it's the strongest. Let's go to the next page. And there you can see it kind of warps the drawing a little bit. So as long as you have a case that has MagSafe and you don't need to use the S Pen while it's on the charger or whatever, you're really not going to have an issue. Just be careful with some of the cases you're using if you really want to use the S Pen. All right, so this is at 9% battery. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Here you can see it still hasn't downloaded all my apps, so let's let it do that. Now let's set up our watch. So I previously had this set up on my Pixel Fold. I'm going to go through the settings and reset it so that I can then pair it to the S24 Ultra. So here on the watch, we'll need to go into the settings and then scroll down to the bottom, say About Watch, and transfer watch to new phone. So here, the Google account on the watch, the phone must match. You're signed into your Samsung account, okay? So here over on the phone, it's automatically recognizing it. We're going to select connect. We're going to allow. Yes, the numbers match. Now, this is different than usual. Usually you have to completely factory reset the watch, then connect it to the new phone, but it's letting me just transfer it. So we'll see if that deletes anything or if everything stays there. So here it needs to download some software over on the Ultra. They always have some pretty cool little animations there. And here we need to agree to some more terms and conditions. Here we're going to allow it to access all of this information, receive notifications, use our Google account. Here we can go through the tips and user guide while it's doing that so we can learn a bit more about the watch. Now, if you want to know my favorite features about the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, I'll have a video linked at the end of this one. All right, it is 100%, and now it says over here, you're all set. So we're gonna retire the Pixel Watch for a bit and use this as our main watch. So there we go, back home. And everything's just as it was. All of my settings are there, my different tiles are there, and everything. So that's pretty cool. Now everything is downloaded to the phone. The last step is to sign into all of our different apps so we're getting all of our notifications and everything. Now you may not remember those passwords, and that's gonna be a little challenge for you, but I'm gonna show you how to get these set up so the next time you go to a new phone, it's really easy to get everything transferred over and then signed into. So what we're gonna do is you can either use Samsung Pass or you can use Google Password Manager. I like Google Password Manager, and that has saved all of my different passwords so I can easily sign in. So to make sure that's set up, I'm gonna go into the settings here, and I'm just gonna search for passwords. And here we have passwords, passkeys, and autofill. And down here, passwords, passkeys, and autofill. So here you have the Samsung Pass option, you have Google, or you could even add another password manager service. And then here on this page, you would need to choose the preferred service. So right now it's set to Samsung Pass. Here I'm going to choose Google, and yes, I trust the app. So I'm going to tap on Google here. And then here I have Chrome passphrase, so it's even more secure. So let me go ahead and sign into that. And once I've signed in, you can see all my account logins and my passwords. So here everything is saved correctly. Now we need to go to any app that we want to sign into. So here, let's sign into Peacock. So when we go into here, it usually will ask for our email and password. So we're gonna tap sign in right here. I'm just gonna tap on there and I get this autofill option. So I'm gonna tap autofill, and there you can see it's now populating an email address. And here it's saying you can set up autofill. It's gonna use the information from my Google account. Continue, there I added my username and password, and I can sign in. So I don't have to remember every single username and password now. If you haven't done this before and you sign in, it will then give you a pop-up asking if you want to save that information to your Samsung Pass or your Google Password Manager. So the next time you do this, it'll easily let you sign in. So now I'm going to go through and do that to all of my different apps. Now there's one more app that you may want to check when you transfer to a new phone, and that is if the Authenticator or your app you use to kind of have your two-factor authentication, if those transferred over as well. Sometimes you need to manually transfer them over. So here we're going to go and search for Authenticator. That's what I'm using for my authentication. We're going to get started. Here we're going to choose Google. And now Google syncs all of that. So it looks like I'm good to go. I don't need to remember all of those. While that's working, let's go ahead and go into WhatsApp, and I'm going to make sure I back up all my messages here. So I'm going to go into menu. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to tap on chats. And then down at the bottom, we have chat backup. So here it's going to back up to my Google Drive. I'm going to tap backup. Here you can also turn on end-to-end encrypted backup. So it's going to encrypt the actual backup. And then you can choose when that's going to back up. So now that we have it backed up, let's go over here and we can restore that. So here we're going to go into WhatsApp, English, green continue, put in our phone number. And I had to find the transfer code for WhatsApp in the app of my old phone. So you'll also need to do that before you wipe the old phone. And now it says it found a backup, so let's go ahead and restore. So that's all you have to do. Make sure you do the backup on the other phone, have the other phone to get the code to transfer, and now we're gonna be back just to where we were before we started. So there we're gonna add our username, and you can create a passkey to have a more secure sign in, and now all of my chats are back. Next, let's set up our device security. We're gonna head into the settings here. We're going to go down to security and privacy. And then down here, we have biometrics. So we can do face recognition as well as fingerprint. So let's go ahead and do face recognition. Ooh. Scanning face, done. Okay, and then as a backup, we're going to do a fingerprint. And then the fingerprint is right here in the screen. So we just press our finger on there with the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. All right, those are added. I've now got everything set back up on my S24 Ultra, and I'm using it as my main phone. I've been using it for a few days, and it's been really great so far. I'm loving that the battery is lasting forever. At night, it's only at like 45 or 50% at the 8 o'clock at night mark. So it's lasting way longer than my Pixel Fold was. And then I'm loving the features of the camera. They seem to be working great, but let's show you some of the other features that are available. Now, most of these are going to be software and AI, and then a little bit of the enhancements of the camera. So first, let's talk about what's called circle to search. If you're ever looking at something and you want to know more about a picture or a place or text or anything that's on your screen, all you have to do is hold down the home button. So here, I don't have the home button because I have gestures. You hold down the little bar right here, and then it's going to do that little animation. And now I can circle something on screen, and it's going to do a Google search for that. So here it says use two fingers to pinch in and zoom more on that. So there I circled the giraffe, and boom, it found that giraffe where you could go and buy it on your own. Pretty sweet. Now let's go ahead and go to maybe some text that I saw. So here's some text on screen. I'm gonna hold down on the button right here, and then I could highlight the text or scribble or circle or whatever I wanna do, and now it's going to highlight that. So there it copied the text, and I can simply tap copy. I also have the option to translate, and there it's doing some Google image searches for that text. So there I can copy it and go paste it into another object. Now this is very similar to Google Lens. Actually on the Pixel phone, you could do this before, but it's great that now this is built right into Samsung phones just by holding down the home button, which is really great to see. Now on a Pixel phone, you would hold up like this, and then you would be able to do that, but that is not how it works. So here, hold down, and there it pops it up. I also have the option to quickly go in and do a Google search right there. That's actually kind of convenient instead of having to go and find the search bar. So I really like that. Next, we have some enhancements in the Notes app, which is S Note. So here we're gonna go into the Notes app. I'm gonna create a new note. And now is what you can do is you can just start typing and it's supposed to automatically format your page. So I'm just gonna go on here. I'm gonna start typing a note. So let's say you're in class, you're making all kind of notes and you just keep writing it out, or maybe you're texting it out and it just continues on. All right, so there we have our note. And then there is this AI button right here. So all we have to do is press that button. and then it will automatically make our note smarter. So auto format, summarize, correct, translate, and generate covers for your notes with advanced intelligence. Okay, so tap that, and now it's giving us the option to auto format, summarize, correct spelling, or translate. Let's try the auto format, and let's do headers and bullets. So there, it's going to take that and then format it correctly. And there you go. It says introduction. There we go. Paragraphs, weekend, hiking. So pretty cool that you have all that. You can copy, you can replace, you can add to it, and so on. Let's try another option here. So then we're going to tap AI. Let's go ahead and summarize. So it's going to say you can create a note by continuously writing or texting. You can create different paragraphs to organize your notes. For example, you can create a list of 10 different activity ideas for the weekend, such as hiking. So there you go. It did a pretty good job of summarizing my note. Now, what if we have a much larger note with a lot more text? So here we have a Google Podcast email that I copied into Notes. I'm going to tap the AI button, and here it's only showing that first part. So I can drag and choose the entire email, and now I'm going to choose Summarize. So it's going to take everything I have in that email and summarize it here. So there's a lot going on. So Google Podcasts will shut down in 2024. I think it's in March. Users can now migrate their show subscriptions to YouTube Music. YouTube Music offers similar features to Google Podcasts, including background play and downloads without requiring a paid membership. And after March 2024, users won't be able to listen to podcasts on Google Podcasts. And after June 2024, migration and export of subscriptions will no longer be possible. So pretty cool that it was able to summarize that. I didn't have to read the whole email. It would be cool if this was directly integrated into the email, but pasting it in Notes lets you do that pretty easily. So that's cool that you have that. Then you have the other options. So let's say we want to do that again. Here we can do correct spelling, which the spelling is correct there. And there's some other, options of maybe you could do this way. You could, kind of some grammar correction. And then here we have translate. So if we want to translate into a different language, let's go ahead and choose Spanish. We can then instantly translate that into Spanish. So that's pretty cool. That is built into the Notes app. Another thing I've noticed is that whenever I'm texting in a text box, it will automatically give some underlining to the text saying if I need to adjust the spelling or grammar. It's actually been pretty useful. Let's go ahead and test it out. So let's say I want to make a post on X. I'm going to go over here and start typing. All right, so I have typed out my text there, and now here it's giving me a green underline indicating that something is wrong. So here I could say, I think Quest 3, so instead of the Quest 3, I could just say Quest 3, and I need to capitalize that. And then over here, let's just make something incorrect, see if it does a change there. And I can already do, nope, so that's incorrect. So sometimes it's not gonna be great, and here it gives us the option to autocorrect. So it's been pretty helpful in certain ways, but sometimes it isn't able to get it perfect. Now let's go ahead and check out some of the camera features. So first off, on the back, we have so many different cameras here. So here we have the 200 megapixel camera, we have an ultra wide, we have our telephoto, and the regular camera with some other sensors and the flash there. So let's go ahead and check out some of the pictures I have taken, random pictures. So first off, let's see what the ultra wide picture is gonna take. So there, a picture in the kitchen of the clock looks pretty good. There we can zoom in on it, and that's as far as we can zoom in. But let's say we want to zoom in more with the regular or the telephoto. There it's a pretty crisp, clear picture. And if we want to zoom in more, we can do, I think this is 10x, and then you can do 30x, and then you can do 100 times. So there you can see it does get a little grainy, but that is how far you can zoom in. So we went from there all the way to there, which is pretty great to be able to do that. Sometimes if you need to read something far away, that's a really great option. You may not be using that a ton, but just being able to have that really close zoom is going to be very helpful to have on your phone. Now, next, let's talk about some of the AI features. So here, I took a picture in the kitchen. Let's try and clean it up a little bit here in the camera. So if we just tap the edit button down here, it's going to pull up the photo. Right here, we have the AI button. So here we can reimagine your image, move, remove, resize the people and objects in your images, then use advanced intelligence to fill in the background. Okay, let's try it out. So there we did that. Now we can touch and hold your selections to move or delete them. So I'm going to tap and hold on there, and I want to erase it. We don't need that. Let's get rid of it. All right, it really got rid of it. So I guess we're going to get rid of things first. Let's get that spatula out of the way. Can we zoom in? Oh, we can. And the salt shaker. Hold down, delete. Okay, so we've removed certain things. Let's go ahead and generate. And it is adding missing pieces. And they're gone, kind of. Here you have the option to view original, so you can see they're gone. But if we zoom in, let's click done. You can see there's some pretty bad photoshopping going on there. I wish it was a little more impressive. I didn't do a very hard picture, so that's a little bummer. But let's try another one. So here we have a tractor. I want to make this tractor bigger. So let's click the edit button. We're going to tap generate. Here, let's choose the tractor. And now what can we do? All right, so we can move it. We can expand it. All right, there we can make it really big. We could change the angle of it if we wanted to. All right, now we got our big, big monster tractor. All right, and tap generate. Then let's see what it does to the rest of the picture. There, it grabbed a little part that it shouldn't have, but let's see if it adjusts that at all to fix it. And there is our final picture. So we went from this small tractor to a much bigger, cool looking tractor. Let's hit done and save our copy. So there you go. It kept it pretty high quality, was able to move it. Let's check out the edges. So there it kept the original edge, but kind of did some blurring to make it match in there. It did this interesting thing right there. But that's pretty fun. So you can do some quick photoshopping right there in the Gallery app without needing another program, which is really great. And then there's some other cool things that Samsung has been doing with this. You have the option to remove reflections from certain photos and so on. Also, the phone itself, the glass is, I think, 50% less reflective than other glass you would get on a Samsung device. So if I lock my screen, you know, there's some reflections up here, but other phones are going to have those reflections a lot more. Let's find one to compare. All right, here I have some really dirty phones. Let's see, you can see how much less bright it is over here on the S24 Ultra with my Pixel Fold. Yeah, that's crazy how it's able to dim it so much and not make it as reflective. Here on the Pixel Fold, you can see me, hi, but I cannot even find myself on the S24 Ultra, which is pretty cool. Now, another feature with the AI is being able to help you in the texting app, and I think other texts throughout the phone. So right here in the Messages app, texting my wife, and down here at the bottom, there is an AI texting icon. So if I tap that, I have the option to translate the chat. So here it's taking it and turning it into Spanish. So right there, I'm texting and instantly it is translating each message into Spanish. This is pretty game changing. Now it didn't do this one that's attached to a picture, which is a bummer, but that is very impressive that it is able to translate that. Really impressed by that. Let's try another one. Tap on here, touch this button, and then writing style. So here we need to enter a text first. So let's see, I'm going to turn off the translation right there. So I'm going to ask her, what are you making for dinner? All right, so I'm going to tap here, and then I'm going to adjust the writing style. And there you go. We have some other options. The original, what are you making for dinner? Here we can do professional. May I inquire about the culinary creation you intend to prepare for the evening meal? If I send that, my wife will say, please bring home dinner, and I will not be making you anything. So be very careful with this feature. Then we have casual, what you making for dinner? That one's pretty good. I like that one. So you can copy it or I could insert it right there. There we have social, meaning like you wanted to post it online. What are you making for dinner? Hashtag cooking, hashtag foodie. Then we have polite. Could you please let me know what you are preparing for dinner? That's something I need to teach my daughter to say when she's asking for dinner. And you have emojify. What are you making for dinner? Dinner plate. Okay, so let's say I want to choose this casual one. We're going to tap insert, and there it has inserted it into the message. Pretty cool. Let's try another one. So we're going to tap here, and then we have spelling and grammar. So it's going to go through, check my text, see if there's any errors. And here it has underlined where it had fixed the grammar on that message, and I can easily insert it into the message. So those are the new AI texting features. Kind of fun to have. I think that translation within the message thread is amazing. I don't know why I've never seen something like that happen before. So I'm going to be testing this out over the next month, but I'd love to know what else you want to know about the S24 Ultra. Please leave it down in the comments below. I'll also leave a link to some great discounts that are going on in the pre-order window of the S24 Ultra. So if you want to check those out, there's some great deals on trading in your current device, and even you can get double the amount of internal storage without spending more. So they do deals on that while it's in pre-order. So check out the link in the description for more details there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.